Number 5. Star Wars: The Old Republic. This game had a lot of potential when it first was released back in late 2011, with some great mechanics and an amazing storyline for both light and dark side of the Force. I played the first time back when it was in the beta state with some of my friends, and it was kinda fun, but it kinda fell hard on its own ass on the other departments, so to say. Quest was lacking integrity, the shops felt clunky, the gameplay is way too similar to World of Warcraft. The graphics are slight above average, but nothing too fancy. Audio and music the same. It was okay, but not great. Although its greatest strength was in fact the storyline for both the Sith and the Jedi, but that is pretty much it. Overall, it's not the worst game ever made, but if you're looking into something more than World of Warcraft, then this is not for you. 7 out of 10. Raiders. This was one of many new free-to-play MMOs that was been released this year, with one big exception. It's a totally flat-out action MMORPG, one of the best up to date to say the least. The graphics is, although a bit lacking in the open world, but totally amazing when you actually are in combat. And it actually feels like you're swinging around with a big ass sword, and it feels good when it lands. It's quite satisfying. And also the crafting feels more rewarding in most games, but the requirements of some of the rare items may seem a bit low, since you don't need a specific crafting or gathering skill to make or gather stuff. Although, with that said, the questing is also, like most MMOs, quite boring and dull. There isn't much can be done with the current meta, so to say, without removing the fun factor. As a side note, the voice acting in these games are horrible. Totally freaking bad. I mean, it's the worst I've heard in any game, and I'm not exaggerating. It's so bad.
Good. You did as I told you. Thanks to you, the crawler's seal broke easily. That's good. Tian will soon get killed by the crawler, which is under my control. All credit goes to you for following my orders very well. Thanks for the help!
Overall, it's a pretty good game, but it lacks that little extra to be enjoyable to play it more than just a few hours per day, so to say. 7 out of 10. Okay, here's one of my most expected MMOs of 2012. I heard about this game when Total Biscuit made his WTF about it back in 2011, and I was totally indulged by it. I got so many friends to play both the beta and the full release of it, and we had some great times with it. When you grew up with friends, the game is so rewarding with their many dungeons and group quests. It's hard to become boring, as long as I had people to play with. Weeks went by and people could become bored of it, me included, because it seemed like it lacked lots of enjoyment at the late stage of the game. Which was kind of unfortunate because it was one of my favorite games at the time. Graphic wise, I think we can all agree it's the best looking MMO, and even game, as far as I know, of 2012. Even better looking than number 2 on my top list in the music. The music and audio is also very good of it. but because it didn't have some of the features that made it worthwhile to play it to max level, it only ended up in the third spot on my list. Overall, a really good game, but falls out the longer into the game you get it. 8 out of 10. Number 2. Guild Wars 2. You expected this to be number 1? Too bad, I've saved the best for last, and it's not what you expect. Anyway, this is one of my favorite games of this year. Exceptional personal storyline, great graphics, splendid audio and music, fantastic artwork. Yeah, it has all of the really beautiful game, both in the open world and in combat. A totally exceptional game and diverse gameplay with its mechanics, races and classes. It's one of a kind. Also, this is the only game that I know of that lets you play however you want right from day one. Whether you're a hardcore PvP fan, a hardcore PvE fan, or just casual storyline fan, there's something for everyone. So, what could possibly defeat this game? Well, just wait and see. Overall, it's one of the greatest online games ever made, and hardly anything bad can say about it, except maybe the horrible ending, but let's not talk about that. 9 out of 10. Number 1. Phantasy Star Online 2. Here it is. Number 1 on my top 5 list of 2012. Phantasy Star Online 2. The first Phantasy Star Online was released basically a decade ago on Dreamcast, GameCube and PC, but it was called Blue Burst on the PC there, but it's the same game. It was also the first console game that was specifically created for online play, and the only game for GameCube where you could hook up a modem or broadband adapter. And there's also featuring a keyboard designed for GameCube only. At this time it was truly revolutionary. But because of its popularity, it was also the one of the rarest games to acquire on the GameCube at this time. Time went by and Phantasy Star Online has been in development for about a decade and got released in Japan in July. Still unreleased in Europe, but I got an opportunity to play it since it's not regional based. And wow, just wow. They really outdid themselves there. I mean, if you are an old Phantasy Star Online player from back on the Dreamcast, GameCube or PC, you're gonna be familiar straight away with the console, with the controls I mean, and it's been made even better. One great thing is that they made the opportunity to mix classes at certain levels, so you don't have to have several characters just to fill out the manual. And it even lets you switch classes on the fly as long as you are in the lobby and combine them after you've done certain quests, so to say. And on the later stage you are also able to upgrade a class into further improvement and specialization in certain weapons and items, which is a really good system. The only thing lacking here is the open world graphics, but with the stuff going on all the time, with the dynamic random events and randomized areas and levels, that doesn't matter one bit, since it's all instanced, and it's not really an open world, so to say. Overall, when this game comes to Europe, this is gonna be the game to have on the PC, because it's totally free to play. 9 out of 10.